Hey everyone, it's Sun Types, and today I'm going to be talking about Zoroark post-rotation, Scarlet and Violet. Super excited to be bringing this to you. Um, yeah, let's just hop into it. And we need to start with what it looks like right now. So pretty straightforward. You play a wide variety of attackers, the Cinccino engine, some support options like Rangru, Manaphy, Assume Basculin, Regent Jirachi to help you set up and protect you and stuff like that. The main attackers are probably Flapple, Appleton, Medina, breaks in Raichu, and then Hisun Zoroark sometimes played. Slowbro's usually played as well. This list plays Wormadam, some lists play Cleavor, and some lists also play a Beheeyem. So that's pretty much it. In terms of draw engine, of course, in addition to the Cinchinos, you play a wide variety of item shares, Level Ball, Evo Incense, and Quick Ball. I mean, you only play 9. I wouldn't say that's a ton, but you still play a solid chunk of that. And then you also play Serena, Research, Boss. A very streamlined. Being able to gust is nice, but also you really just want to draw through your deck. Of course, Serena will be being hurt by rotation slash the new set, as there are going to be less Pokemon Vs to be able to gust up. It's not going to be bad, though. I'd still recommend you play at least 3 of it in your Zoroark list. And then you're also playing pretty generic stuff outside of that. You play some stadiums as a counter to Lost City, which is kind of bad. And Twin Energy and Double Turbo is how you power up your attackers, because a wide variety of your attackers take 2 colors. We're looking at stuff like Slowbro, Wormadam, Breaks, and this specific list, as well as Beheeyem, Cleavor, and anything else you probably want to throw in there. It's probably going to be 2 color synergy or 1 color synergy like Flapple, Appleton, Raichu, or free like Mightyena, which should probably be free, or Hisuian Zoroark, which is free. Also, Twin Energy Double Turbo helps pay Radiant Jirachi's attack cost, although I'd say it's more there for setup. But let's look at the cards we're losing. Gloom so you probably don't want to be attacking the Radiant Jirachi. I wouldn't even recommend playing that. I don't really like it too much. Cinccino is pretty much directly replaceable by the Curly engine, so nothing to worry about there. A Rangru, that's not that important. You can replace it with Squirtle if you really want, but I wouldn't really recommend that. Or you can replace it with Swap Cups if you want. I also wouldn't recommend that. But you can do what you want. It's not a big loss. Losing Ordinary Rod's kind of bad. In addition to a Rangu, you're going to kind of lose your attackers, which isn't great. There are a few ways to deal with this. You can play Miriam's probably the best way, allowing you to recover some Pokemon. It's pretty solid. You don't have to play that, though. You could kind of just play less Pokemon recovery. Or you can play Clara. That's fine, too. But I think losing Rod's kind of annoying. It's not the end of the world, though. Every deck's losing it. Every deck's kind of making do with what they got. And you can just you can add more basics of other attackers if you want to. That's something I wouldn't love to say, because it doesn't feel too good, but it's not the end of the world either. And then we also have stuff here like we're gonna be losing Scoop Up Net, Glimmer Tangle. They're small things; they're not a big deal. Replace Glimmer Tangle with literally any other stadium, and then replace Scoop Up Net with Switch. Glimmer Tangle. I think there's a stadium called Mesagoza. I don't know if that's the right stadium, but there's one that searches for Pokemon that could easily replace Glimmer Tangle. But then the big loss here is going to be Twin Energy, super important in the deck. Being able to power up your energy. There are other ways, notably Raihan, or you could even do energy switch with other things. Those are a bit clunky. Raihan's not super consistent. So, yeah, this deck really likes Twin Energy. That's a big loss. So let's talk about the new cards. Some of which will cover this, some of which will not necessarily help the Twin Energy problem. But yeah, there are a wide variety of new cards. These are 10 that I'm going to show here. There are a few other EXs. And the big thing is that Zoroark can turn into Pokemon EX, which is insane. They have more HP. They're just better attackers, more well-rounded attackers, as opposed to the other attackers that I showed here. All these attackers are pretty much tech attackers. Having these well-rounded attackers that have more base power is just going to be good for a deck like Zoroark. These EXs are just good, and so being able to play them, being able to turn into them, having a toolbox of them is super strong. Starting off with Bayonet EX here, Item Lock, super good Poltergeist, super good dealing more damage for each trainer in your opponent's hand. Also Spite Ops EX, increasing the retreat cost, and then also punishing opponents with high retreat cost. Can be played on its own if you want to get 4 Spite Ops EX and do big damage. Of course, you need Zoroarks to chain multiple Spite Ops EXs. That's also the same strategy of Mousehold, where you get 4 and play, chain them with Zoroarks. Keep in mind they're all multiple energy attachments. A bit awkward losing Twin Energy from Mousehold. But it's not the end of the world. Spite Ops EX is certainly in an alright spot. It's a control style card, increasing the retreat cost, pairing it with Bayonet EX, possibly double Turbo Energy to get them locked there forever, or just to get them stalled out for a little bit. Bayonet EX is super strong. Spidops EX, a nice addition. Pairing it with Zoroark is the logical choice as you're playing a bunch of different Stage 1 lines. Now, also, Unclone EX, a very well-rounded EX Pokemon here, being able to do 10 plus 30 for each bench Pokemon your opponent has. That is going to be the same attack, actually, as Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, which some of you are thinking, what? I thought, like, discouraged energy. No, this first attack on Ice Rider. But this is very solid. It's well-rounded, can do a nice punish for only one colorless on a Stage 1 colorless Pokemon, can therefore use Sharon's Care or Cheryl. Bayonet can also use Cheryl. And actually, there's another way to use Cheryl here with Slowbro, but I'll get to that in a second. But Oinklone's second attack, 210. If you flip a coin and flip tails, you can attack with it next turn. Not a big deal at all. But it does 210, very respectable. You can stick a double turbo doing 190. You stick something that does 30 more, you're hitting 220. So it's not too bad by any means, very respectable. And I think this will see play. As a Tekken Zoroark, it's very solid. As just a Tekken anything, it's very solid. But I think Bayonet, Spidops, Oinklone, a very solid package, is a very safe style of Zoroark. And in addition to the other attackers I mentioned in the previous pages. And then also here I mentioned Slowbro, this ability allowing you to move damage counters to it. Then you can Cheryl off all the damage counters. You can have multiple Slowbros, Cheryl off all the damage. Super powerful, no matter what you're playing. It could be a basic deck. It could be a massive amount of energy deck. You can heal off all the damage with Cheryl with this Slowbro combo. I don't hate this in decks that are just trying to heal off like Oinkologne or whatever. And it's also useful. You can actually KO Slowbro if you want, and you can evolve into the other Slowbro that has its really interesting ability to, attack that just takes prizes if your opponent's down to only one prize remaining. So that's a very solid option. I really like Slowbro. It's one of the best cards in the new set, definitely. But you know, it's versatile, very powerful. You can can knock yourself out, so you can actually trigger Roxanne. That's moderately interesting, moderately bad, of course, because you're knocking out your own Pokemon. But it's something to consider. Now we actually have Arcanine EX as well, a fire type attacker. EX, it's actually trash the Pokemon, meaning it's immune to bench damage. They are going to introduce, I believe, a type-changing terrestrial mechanic, so that's kind of cool. Or just Pokemon of different types, kind of like Delta Speech. It's not a mechanic per se. But, yeah, in this case, it's just immune to bench damage. But it also has a massive 280 HP, so very respectable. First attack, more damage for each damage counter on it. Second attack, doing 250, discarding 2 fire energy. You can accelerate energy with Magnum Basin. It's just a solid attacker. I'll get to fire more in a minute. But there's also Dachshund, immune to fire, damage to fire attackers. That's moderately useful. It can't be burned as well, but if fire becomes good, Dachshund could be good. There's also a Bronzong, I believe, in the format with the same ability, if I'm not mistaken. I might be thinking of something else, but I believe that there is another Pokemon with the same ability. Doesn't really see much play. It's not impossible for this one to see play, though, with fire becoming better, as I'll mention soon. And mentioned before, Lucario, a fighting tech attacker. In Lucario decks, if you want to play Lucario Zoroark for whatever reason, you can play this Lucario. It's very solid. But nothing insane. I talked about Mousehold, as I said, a very, very straightforward attacker. Just want to get a bunch of Mouseholds and play, use Zoroark to chain those. Riverboom here, though, really interesting, very similar to a barrel. Discard an energy, draw till you have 6. A bit more powerful, but a bit less versatile. Is it good? I don't know. But I think some people like it. Some people won't like it. It's very much up to you. But then the big Pokemon here, super cool, insanely good art. It's Armouge with its ability Fire Alarm. That's kind of a weird ability name. It doesn't really make a lot of sense in this case. But as often as you like during your turn, you may move a fire energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active. This is insane. You can use Magnum Base and Accelerate Energy to your bench Pokemon and send them to your active. I'm going to go on, yep, you can see the Armouge in all its glory, or not. If you're on the phone, you can barely see it probably. But like you might not even be watching. That's all good as long as you're enjoying the content. But, you know, you can use Fire Alarm to accelerate energy to the bench with Magnum Basin. You're not even damaging your attacker. Magnum Basin damaging your attacker, which is annoying. Armouge, nope, you just send it to the active. You can also switch around attackers, send the energy around. Super useful. You can use this with Cheryl if you want to do some weird combos. You can just do some really, really creative stuff. But most importantly, you Magnum Basin to your bench, send it to your active of any type. Doesn't need to be fire type. This is the universal energy acceleration option. Magnum Basin Armouge, super good, better than Charm because it's more just practical. Charm like never works. Armouge is cooler, and I think it's going to work better. And then you can pair this with very powerful fire Pokemon. Arcanine EX, as I mentioned before, very solid. And now, as you see with this package, it's looking much better. In addition to Rapidash, allowing you to discard energy to do more damage. And then you can also use something like Kindler if you want. But really, this is the way that people are going to be playing Zoroark. I think people talk about Maushold, they put Arm Rouge in it. So if you want to be able to pay 2 energies, you can use Arm Roots. There's also a new Aurora Energy style, or Rainbow Energy style energy called, I believe, Luminous Energy, coming in some point in the future. Not sure exactly when. But yeah, it's going to be super good with this Arm Rouge. You can also move those Aurora style energies, so you can even move Fusion Strike, Rapid Strike, Single Strike energies. Fusion Strike, Impulse, and Impact. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. Is it Impact, Fusion Strike, Impact, and is it Impact? I think it's Impact Energy and Spiral Energy. I'm not sure. Tell me what the Single Strike Energy is called. I don't remember what the multi-type Spiral Energy, Single Strike Energy is called. But anyways, you can move those around if you want. I wouldn't really recommend it, but you can. But overall, it's just a super duper strong Pokemon. I'm super hyped for this. It's gonna be cracked. I really loved it. But I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts down below. Tell me if I missed anything as well. But I'm really excited for this. I hope you are too. Scarlet and Violet's looking super insane. Arm Rouge is really good. Slowbro is really good. All these Pokemon here are really... Dashbone is not as good. Lucario is not as good. But the rest are absolutely insane. I mean, not all insane, but good. Very solid. Arm Rouge is looking super fun. Super hot fire here. With Arcanine, Fire is going to be good again. It was bad. It was really good for a little while, and then bad, and then it's good again. So super hyped for that. But I'm interested in hearing what your thoughts are down below in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, I'm excited to see you in the next one.